Hey guys and girls, welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to be building on the previous lesson where I showed you how to detect basic engulfing candles. So if you skipped that lesson, you might want to go back and watch that lesson where I show you what this code here does, how we're detecting bullish and bearish engulfing candles. In this lesson, we're going to build on this script and add an extra filter to this pattern. In this case, I want to detect swing high and swing low candlestick patterns, or in other words, fractal engulfing candles. So what a fractal engulfing candle is this right here. Now it's hard to see, but this bar right here is higher than the previous bar. And what I want to detect out of my fractal engulfing candles is a pattern like this. Now forgive my drawing here, I'll skip ahead and save you the torment of watching me draw. So this right here, other than being a potentially high value NFT someday, is what I call a swing high or fractal engulfing candle pattern. Now what I'm looking for in a fractal engulfing candle pattern is quite simple. What I want is the bar before our engulfing candle. So in this case, that would be this bar here. I want that bar to be the highest bar of recent price action and then have that bar followed by a bearish engulfing candle. Or I want the actual engulfing candle bar to be the swing high. So one of these two bars must be the highest high over recent price action. And it's the same for bullish engulfing candles, but in the opposite direction. So if this was a bullish pattern, the middle bar must be the lowest low, or the engulfing candle itself must be the lowest low over recent price action. So I'll show you what I mean in code. So the first thing we need to do for this candlestick pattern is detect the recent swing high and recent swing low. So for this, I'm going to create two new variables called swing high and swing low. And these are going to be two Boolean variables, true or false variables. And for a swing high, what I want to check is the current bar's high equal to the TA.highest high over the past 10 bars or so. Now, you can change this number if you want to. You can make this a user input. I normally make it a user input, but this is how you detect a swing high. We're checking, is the current bar's high price value equal to the highest high over the past 10 bars? We can do the same thing for our low. Is the current bar's low equal to TA.lowest? Now, TA stands for technical analysis, the technical analysis library or inbuilt namespace. For this, we want to check, is the current bar's low equal to the lowest low over the past 10 bars? And then to combine these filters with our candlestick patterns, it's very simple. All we need to do is add another and on the end of this line of code and add in our swing low and our swing high for the corresponding pattern. So for a bearish engulfing candle, I want the bar to be a swing high. For a bullish engulfing candle, I want it to be the swing low. So now when I save the script, a bunch of these patterns will disappear. Nearly all of them actually, except for swing high and swing low engulfing candles. Now this is a much more accurate candlestick pattern than just simple basic engulfing candles. And this is the preferred engulfing candle pattern I like to use in my own scripts when I'm trading using this candlestick pattern. So now we're detecting half of the candlestick pattern, but I also want to detect patterns where the previous bar is the swing high. So let me show you how I do that. So far we're detecting the current bar is the highest high over recent price action. Now we need to check if the previous bar was the highest high. So if the current bar is the highest high over the past 10 bars, or the previous bar's high is the highest high over the past 10 bars, then swing high will be set to true. And we can do the same thing for our swing low. We can paste that in and add the historical or series operator onto here and reference the previous bar. And now when I save my code, this pattern here will be being detected again. So let me click save, and there we have it. So now we have much more accurate swing high and swing low or fractal engulfing candles being detected in our script. And that is pretty much it for this candlestick pattern. That's as complex as it needs to be, really. The only thing left to do here is just layer filters on top of each other. So we could check if the RSI is overbought or oversold. We could check if price action is trading above or below a moving average. So let's say we have an EMA. We want to get the TA.EMA with a closing price and a 50 period. Now I can add this onto my chart. Let me plot it first. I'll keep it simple. I won't bother formatting this plot. We'll just plot the 50 EMA onto our chart as a blue line. Now let's detect bullish and bearish engulfing candles that occur above or below this moving average. To do that, I simply add on the end of our filter here, and is the current bar's close greater than our EMA value? And for bearish candles, we want the current bar's close to be below the EMA value. Now when I save the script, this will go away, these bullish engulfing candles will go away, and we'll only be detecting bearish engulfing candles where the overlying momentum is in one direction or the other. So let me save the code here, zoom in a bit, and now you can see a bunch of these patterns have disappeared, and we have even further refined our candlestick pattern detection. You can go even further with this. For example, all of these bullish engulfing candles technically close above the moving average, but you can see that price was trading below it for quite a while here. So you could add even more complex filters. You could use a for loop to loop over the previous price action and see how many bars closed below the moving average, and use that as a filter to eliminate low quality trading patterns. For example, there really is no limit to how many filters you can layer on your script realistically. I mean, you can get pretty crazy with it if you want to, but you can get very creative and as sophisticated as you want with your filter, market filter, trade filter detection code. And just before I wrap up this lesson, let's try doing an RSI. So let's check if the current RSI, we'll just use a standard 14 period RSI based on the close. I won't plot this to the chart since we don't want it drawing over price action. And let's just check, is the current RSI value less than 30? So is the RSI currently oversold? And for bearish engulfing candles, we want to check if the RSI is currently overbought. Now let's save our code. And most of these candlestick patterns should go away, if not all of them. And it will be pretty difficult to find some examples of this pattern because it's not often that it occurs. But here's an example. So price is heavily oversold here. Then we get a bullish engulfing candle that is a swing low, a fractal bullish engulfing candle, and then price rallied from here. It's a great counter trend trading opportunity that can work on some markets, especially when combined with structure. So if there was structure looking left here, that would be an even more accurate counter trend trade setup. You could obviously check other indicator values, stochastic, MACD, whatever your preferred indicators are. You can add them as filters to any of these candlestick patterns that we detect in this section of the course. But for now, I'll wrap it up there. I'll leave this lesson where we are, because later in the course, we'll start using these candlestick patterns in conjunction with market filters, indicators, adding all of this information together and layering all of this stuff together to build actual useful trading indicators. So I'll leave this source code below the video for you to play around with if you want to, and I will see you in the next lesson.